Yo, 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 mic check, mic check, mic check. Can you hear me? May have to get low. Let me see, let me see, let me see. Yo, 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 yo. There we go. Yo, 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 yo. Gemini 5, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, man? What's happening? Can y'all hear me? Am I good? All right, appreciate you. Someone special. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's get God up, what up, Bruce Lee? What up, King? What's good? We hit the thumbs up button, man, to get some people in here. Let our small intimate circle gather real fast. I gotta. Why they coming in? Where do y'all think we come from? And this is totally inspired by the Mike Tyson podcast with Carl Kanai was on his podcast, and his co-host I don't want to mess his name up. I think his name is Eden. Asked a question to Carl Kanai, where do you think we come from? And I'm like, oh shit, boy, this is good. This is going to get good. Yeah, where do you think we come from? Ooh, OG Bruce Lee said darkness, man. So what you mean darkness? What do you when you say darkness? His name is Eben, Eben Britain. He played professional football. But yeah, where do you think we come from? I wish I had a link. Is there a link to this? Let me go over here and see. Give me a second. I'm gonna see if I can find a link to this live, and I want to go on Twitter and actually, as in where our spirit. Yeah. Like the origin of you. Because we know you leaving. We ain't gonna stay here. So that is coming and going. Where does that come from? Hip Hop Astrology TV. Yeah, here go live right here. Share, copy. Let me go to Twitter. Yeah. Where do we come from? Hold on, y'all. I'm actually about to tag Mike Tyson in now. Live right now. Peace. Hold on. Let me go get Mike. I got his partner. Mike Tyson. Bam. All right. What up, Ernest? What's good? All right, man. So let's get some thumbs up for our intimate little circle here. Yeah. So where do y'all think we come from? Where do we come from? 1 minute we're here, next minute we're not. Do we come from Africa? Is it a landmass? Is it further than that? Is it deeper than that? Where do you think we come from? I'm gonna have to write another book. What up, Katrina? Katrina says stars. That's interesting. Stars. Come on, man. Give me some feedback. Where y'all think we come from? I feel like in a way we came up with an idea about ourselves in darkness before we were even birthed here, before even the star. I feel like we come from our space, our own 0 point. 0 point. How would you define space and 0 point? Street, aka concrete, says Sirius, as in the sun, or from our perception, a bright star, which will correspond with Katrina, the stars. So, hey, Katrina, do we come from all of the stars or just some of the stars? Is it even possible to come from more than one star, or is it one star? Because when you start getting in certain material, usually it's called channeled material. You would hear of people talking about these light beings are coming from Arcturus, or they're coming from the Pleiades. Can a person be an amalgamation, a combination of multiple star systems if we come from the stars? 0 point is just being. I think I'm getting some little bit of definition here. Okay, let me turn this little space heater on. Maybe a certain star system. Okay, all right. And so again, this question is inspired by Mike Tyson's podcast, and the guest on was Carl Kanai and Eben Britton, which is the co-host. Like, this is the perfect. I love the show, man. It's crazy how much I love this show. It's just a perfect balance with these two. So Eben asked the question, "Hey Carl, where do you think we come from?" And they could be talking about robbing somebody in one breath, and literally the next breath. So where do you think we come from? They're like, huh? Where they come from? But it's classic. You got to get high, and I ain't even smoking. I'm past my smoke phase. I don't really think I'm gonna smoke weed again. I got too much on my mind. But it's classic material. And so here's what I know for sure. When you deal with being able to accurately, and that's a key word, accurately, look at planetary positions and say, I'm just going to give an example. We use a real life example. Hey, Charlemagne, you want to watch out from this time to this time because you got some negative female karma. You were born with this karmic energy of nasty female energy. And then in this particular case, real story, and I put it in a new trailer that's on this site. And by the way, if you're new to this, I told Charlemagne this a video back on July the 12th, 2017. I made a video called Charlemagne Female Karma. And then a year later to the date, July 12th, 2018, petitions started to surface. Like, y'all should sign a petition, fire Charlemagne from the Breakfast Club, because when he was young, a lady said that she got drugged. Charlemagne and them drugged her up and did the Bill Cosby tour. And I told him exactly a year prior to the date, yo, you got negative female energy. And I said, you low-key got Bill Cosby energy is what I said. And I bullshit you not, a year later, you can look it up. All this stuff is timestamped. So, but I'm looking at planetary positions when a person is born and a person is having a real life experience when a planet aligns, okay? And there's various alignments. And people are having these real life experience as if, I think one of the easier ways to identify what's taking place is like a planet was right here at this location when you were born. And then in the future, another planet is in that same position. And then you have an event that corresponds or mirrors the planetary energies that were aligned. I think that's a very easy way to really start to understand what's taking place here. So I'm very interested in the person is having a reaction to the planetary alignment. So now this absolutely makes you connected to the cosmos. But that makes sense because the earth is floating in space too. So the cosmos isn't separate from the earth. The earth which we inhabit, we are part of the same system, hence solar system. A universe, we're in the same universe, we're in the same solar system and whatnot. When you look at the core of man, here's the answer. When you look at the core of man and at the core of woman, we are light. And it, you see it. It's no heartbeat. Okay, you out of here. Oh, no heartbeat. The paramedics come, break out the jumper cables, right? The shock paddles. But they're gonna say charge clear, boom, and hit you with electricity. And this is a fact. You rub your feet on carpet, touch a piece of metal or even fabric, you will convey electricity. So we are light manifest, which the scripture so eloquently puts, and Jesus was the light of the world. And in the Masonic pantheon of Western mystery schools, if you see a Mason with a square compass and G on, you'd be like, oh man, that's a lot of light you got on. Ooh, that's a lot of light. And they don't even know what they truly got, but they're supposed to be studying light. So now that we're light, we're water. That's a good point. We're this, we're a conglomeration of a lot of stuff, man, a lot of energetic properties, right? But light is interesting in our world because somehow, if we just look at the light of the sun in a sense, these constellations make up are made of different stars, lights, which is light. And on the Snoop podcast with Mike Tyson, even it was like Snoop was even like, why is our scale? Because even is a Libra, and he's like, why is our sign even a scale anyway? I said, God damn, boy, I would love to have this conversation. So the constellations simply look like something. You say it look like a scale, okay, it's a scale. You say it look like a scorpion, then okay, cool, it's a scorpion. And then you have to, of course, study the time of year that the sun appears in front of this region and look at the personality types to be able to make some correspondences. But the point is, this circular motion that we go through, because our reality, without a shadow of a doubt, is circular. It's 365 degrees in this circle. There's July 4th, every July 4th. There's the spring equinox, every spring equinox. Your anniversary is there's a circular motion. What goes around comes around. This has been proven. And within this circular motion, our whole reality is based upon ultralight beams. Like King SO said in the chat, there's lights. You have major lights, could be the sun. You have, for lack of a better word, lesser lights. Yes. Although could be brighter in magnitude, but since they're so far away in our reality, they will look like they're lighter, of less shinier and brighter than our own sun because it's so far away. So in our reality, we have the great light, and then we have lesser lights. And we have to tie in the fact that, and I'm gonna get to that too, because you're absolutely correct. We have to tie in the fact that since our reality is based off of circular motion, the circle in this thing makes it complete. So can you truly be one when our whole reality has 11 other zodiacal stations that we are? And I'm not saying that we are only zodiac light. That's not what I'm saying. We predominantly express ourselves through a zodiacal light. When the light is in front of Cancer, or if you have these various other planets in these locations, and these planets are reflecting light and giving off their own hue and energetic signature. Mars look like it's red. You know, if you got something in Scorpio, there's a star called I'm thinking of a Taurus star right now. In Taurus, there's a star called Aldebaran. All right. One was in Leo, now it ingress into Virgo, called Regulus. You know, these stars, Sirius look like it's blue white type of light. In Scorpio, there's a star that look like Mars. It's red. Antares, that's what it is. Antares looks like Mars. It's hard to differentiate between Antares and Mars. These things are red. So these stars have their own color frequencies and their own energetic properties. Now, we had just dropped something in the chat that was real dope, King. So it was like, yeah, all the elements are within the eyes, right? So now we gotta look at the gases. We gotta look at the elemental energies, because now at the core, light is really, I'm not talking about this visible light. We're really information. So when I say light, I'm really talking about consciousness, and consciousness is the ability to have information. It's just a stream of information. And this is why one day, in 1 second, you can have an idea, and then tomorrow an idea. No, Regulus is technically not in Leo no more. A few years ago, Regulus technically ingressed to 0 degrees Virgo. However, when looking at the star constellation of Leo, it looks like it is, which is, it's the constellations in the space that they're in are not perfectly aligned, because there's a tilt to the earth that also produces this crazy illusion. So you can't believe necessarily what you see with the naked eye, which I got into a whole nother conversation of before, called the cosmic illusion. But Regulus is technically in Virgo now. Okay. So when you look at what I'm talking about light, we're really talking about coded information, stream of information. 1 minute you got an idea, the next minute you don't. All of a sudden it pops up. It's a continuous stream of information, and there's absolutely no such thing. I'm telling you, there's no such thing as emptiness. Because again, like I said yesterday, emptiness is if emptiness is a state, then there are rules to the state of being empty. Nothing is in it. And sure, you can have something where nothing is in it, but it's the oxymoron of hey, 1 second, I'm gonna make sure ain't nobody trying to hit me on the emergency. Okay, all right. So it's the oxymoron of we come from nothing to something. A better oxymoron is, which one is first, man or woman? The moment that you tell me man is here first, then that must mean secretly hiding within man is a woman. And we can just reverse the same process. Nah, brother, the woman was here first, mitochondrial DNA. Okay, cool. That's your argument. Then somewhere inside of her is a secret undercover man. You can't, it has to be that. That's just simple logic. It has to be that, right? And so when I'm talking about the code, the information, because even in the void, if they tell you like a black hole doesn't light can't escape a black hole, that's fine. But a black hole has a function, because if its job is to serve like a vacuum cleaner, because it has a certain pull, then that's information. It has a code to it. When I say code, it means there's information that gives it function. There's information that give you and I color, eyebrows, everything that we do is information that says move, fire, move the fingers. And there's millions of processes that takes place in a nanosecond to make it happen. And so all states have information. And information is not just one thing. One You can't build a computer with one thing. It needs other components. Every single thing in creation needs another component. I don't care if you give me an electrical car, you still gonna have to have an ignition switch, a spark, an accelerator, a brake pads. You're gonna have opposites. You're gonna have to have more than one to make the one complete, right? So the information, for lack of a better word, I'm gonna call it binary. In a sense, binary to me is going to be defined as, let's just call it duality. It's not just one thing. So we are a stream of invisible information that can manifest itself in the form of light through the visible light spectrum. In that form of light, again, on a easy level, when you convey a electrical shock when you rubbing your feet on carpet or whatever, but that form of light can be cultivated when you start living a lighter life. What is a lighter life? Meaning when you start to align the brain and attention, or the mind, to cultivating higher states of awareness, whether it be meditation, love, peace, happiness, subject matters that propels happiness, then you start to glow. The energy field increases, and then people can sense the energy, feel the energy. But then the camera, who has no emotions and who has a finer, sharper vision than we have, you start to take pictures, and then all of a sudden you have light emanating from your body. And so the Tibetan Buddhists practice this concept known as the rainbow body. This is a fact. It's called the rainbow body. And it's so dope, because for them, when they die, if you have truly attained the state, they tell you don't touch the body, because the body is actually going to shrink, and in some cases totally dissolve down to just teeth and hair. Leg bones gone, arm bones gone, teeth and hair. And the light will appear in the room or over the vicinity of where you're at, because they know that the essence that is the core of who we are is like a shooting star. You see what I'm saying? Sperm ejectile, right? Light traveling. So we're light beings, but the light itself is made up of something, which is invisible coded information, consciousness. So we go through different stages of consciousness, and this is why in the Holy Quran they talk about the seven heavens. What do you mean seven heavens? Well, you gotta really ponder that. 7 heavens? I don't know how people see that. 7 heavens. Is it literally 7 layers in the sky? Possibly. Or is it talking about the 7 cycles? Noble Drew Ali came and gave you the circle 7. Ah, interesting. It comes right back around again. Right? In ancient times, there was you couldn't see past Saturn. So you can see uh-oh. Yo. Oh, sun. You can see moon. You can see Mercury. You can see Venus. You can see Mars. You can see Jupiter, and you can see Saturn. These are all cosmic bodies on Earth. You're not counting Earth because you are the Earth. Looking out, you see these 7 rings. Sun, Mercury's next to the sun. Then it's Venus. Then in our sphere is the moon. Then behind us is Mars. Behind Mars is Jupiter. Behind Jupiter is his daddy, Kronos, which is Saturn. Anything beyond Saturn, you need technology. Okay? And for real. So there goes 7. So the 7 heavens is actually talking about these 7 planetary bodies, but each planetary body represents a state of consciousness in itself. And then you can superimpose that onto the endocrine system if you wanna. Okay. And then each level of development is 7 years, and 7 times 7 is 49. And when you start getting with the 49 to the 50, you start getting to the Great Jubilee, where everything resets itself, which a little bit off topic, but this nation swears in its officers of government through religious texts, but we're not following the laws of the books to the T. And to a degree we are and we ain't. And what I mean is, think about it. Like, 7 years or so, it's been on your credit. Okay, you good. See, it's that circle 7 again. That's interesting. Well, but what made me say the statement, we're not playing all the way by the book, is because I think that if you go to a certain point in your life, such as bad credit and things of that nature, right? Bad credit, I'm really talking about. There needs to be a reset point. And as a country as a whole, you can't keep staying in bad debt, because there's a such thing as good leverage, good debt. Good debt is the bomb. I'm gonna show an example tomorrow in our members only webinar in the Family Wealth Club. We talk about real estate and just simple leverage, right? For example, let's do some quick math real fast, right? And then we're gonna get into something. All right. So, for example, simple math. Let's just say there's a house that costs $30,000. Okay. And let's just say you got 9,000, which would be 30%. Okay. So you got 9,000. So 9,000 equals 30%. Okay. So you got 9,000. That's 30% of the deal. Okay. Now, let's say with this particular deal, you're going to bring $200 a month, and 2 times 12, which is a year, is now 2,400. Okay. So now you got 2,400 that you're going to bring in a year. Okay. So now what you do is, let's take that quick. What is that? You take 2,400. Okay. 2,400. Actually, let's pay for the whole thing. Let's pay for the whole thing, 30 grand. And you're going to bring home 2,400 a year. So 2,400 a year divided by the 30 grand. Okay. Is 8%. It's 8%. All right. So that's all that is. It's 8%. Now, 8% return is really good. And if you understand investments, minus inflation, minus fees and stuff. But that's 8%. Okay. Now you put up 30 grand. 30 grand. And you're going to get 2,400 a year. Okay. Now let's go and say, hey, wait a minute. The same 30 grand, let me put a 10% down payment down, which is 3 grand, 3 grand out my pocket. The bank is going to finance the other 27. Okay. And instead of me getting $200 a month clearing, let's just say cut it in half, I get $100 a month, which is now $1,200 a year. So when you take $1,200 a year and just divide it into 3,000, that's going to be like 40 some percent, right? 1,200 divided by what, 3,000? 40% exactly, right? This is a great deal because somebody else is fronting all of the money and you just had to come out your pocket. In this case, 3 grand. You see what I'm saying? Versus 30 grand and making 2,400 a year. I'd rather come out my pocket, just a portion of that, and let the bank front it. And this becomes good leverage. So it's nothing wrong with debt. So when I'm speaking of dealing with the bad debt is when you're in a country and you trillions and trillions of dollars in debt and it's creating chaos and turmoil and the government has to shut down and things of this nature, you should reset the debt. Every civilization on earth needs to get to a point that says, hey, we will honor. See, this is what gets me. All governments say they believe in the higher power. So if that be the case, fine. Let's just agree on certain tenets. You can believe in different higher powers, but there's a tenet that says, hey, it makes logical sense that every 49 years, every 50 years, united, because 50 years, 49, 50 years deals with this star called Sirius, the brightest star in all the heavens, which is said to be our sun's sun. And it has a companion star that's invisible called Sirius B. 49 to 50 years, they switch positions and they do like this DNA figure 8 type of dance. Okay. That's why we have 50 states, and the United States is in no rush to add a 51st. Could have been add a 51st or something. You didn't even have to divide it at 50. You just could have divided another way and made it 51st. It's locked at 50 for a certain reason. 13 in the beginning was for a certain reason, because 13 degrees Cancer is around July the 4th. The sun is about on the July the 4th. The sun is about 13, the 13th day of Cancer. And when the 13th day of Cancer happened, the sun rises and Sirius rise. They rise together in a perfect alignment. So the United States has always been dedicated to Sirius. Sirius has always been in the African tradition of cosmology. So by astronomical purposes, and you see Washington, D.C. has this thing called an obelisk. Washington, D.C. is more African. The United States is more African than Africa. I mean, it's a freaking mirror of it. You know what I'm saying? All right. And so had to give you that. All right. So again, just going back to who are we? Information. That's all. Information. And that's right, Bruce, because see, me and Ju was just talking about this. Everybody has a piece of the puzzle, but you have to be able to everybody, you have to be able to put everybody in their respective power. I'm sorry, respective position. Give me 1 second, y'all. I got a message here. All right. Got to put everybody in their respective position. It's I don't feel less of a man because I can honestly admit that, hey, when you deal with a branch of consciousness, it's just a branch. There's a tree that bears different branches. And then you got various trees that bear different fruit. So it doesn't hurt to say, hey, wait a minute, man. These cats that was dealing with more science or more history, they're on to something when it deals with law and status at law. You know, that there's some truth that's there. You have some people that believe in the Bible. There's some truth that's there. You have some people that say, nah, man, this is how you eat to live. Get rid of the pork. And you can get rid of high blood pressure and don't really eat this, and you can get rid of diabetes and don't have that, and that portion becomes true. But can we become the 12 light beings? You know what I'm saying? The 12 light beings simply means everybody in a respective station can make this whole thing complete. So this is not hard to do. You know what I'm saying? You know? So I just wanted to dive into that, man. So what's that? And you got excuse me, I'm dyslexic. But 5 senses picking up data, information, sending it to the brain computer for interpretation. Yeah, the 5 senses picking up on information, and then the brain gets to compute that data and pictualize what is this stimuli about. I hear a horn, oh, car, danger, right? Potentially, and whatnot. Yeah. And so I'm gonna back up a little bit. So we talked about the OG Bruce Lee, like I share with people. The chakras in itself are abstract representations of bodily function. So it's kind of like taking the Bible and since you don't want to talk math and you don't want to deal with the harder subjects, you have to give us fairy tale. You have to give us stories and fables and be able to, because once you give us a story, it's easy for me to pictualize it and see it versus you just flat out telling me an equation. The equation is threatening, but the picture, we know, say a picture speaks what, 1,000,000 words or 1,000 words. So it's easy when you get pictualize something, it becomes easier to interpret. So the chakras itself has to be talking about a certain bodily function, and each bodily function is a part of a bodily system. It just is. And the chakra system is the endocrine system, which is the chemical system, the chemical messenger system. And this is why, if you watch the Mike Tyson podcast, every show they're going to talk about the damn toad experience, right? Because he had a chemical that was able to get his brain to release a chemical. Let me say it's DMT. All right. And they say the pineal gland only secretes DMT at birth and at death. Now, me and Jew, primarily the pioneer of the hippocampus, Minister Jew, people's experiences, especially when they come in the form of memories, then that means it's the hippocampus that's doing the work, not necessarily the pineal gland. Memories are your prison. They are prison because that's what trauma is. Trauma after the fact is memory. Memory becomes our prison. But memory is nothing more than a recorded light code experience. Light meaning we're all energy, and it was an event on a certain day that the light was shining. So therefore, memories could be our prison. You can break them out by reformatting. You can break yourself out of prison by constantly re-imaging and redoing the situation at hand. But you have to keep redoing it and redoing it and redoing it. One constant story the way you want it to be. And then your mind has to do what you say. And so it says, oh, okay, well, you want me to now take this off of the negative bookshelf. And you said that mom didn't come in and beat you. She came in and gave you a hug and you smiled and you really feel that. And now you start to secrete positive emotion. Oh, you just reformatted memory. You can do that via the power of your mind. You can call it hocus pocus all you want to. It's going to be real. See, and that's another thing about us. The beautiful thing about us, the human body, or the human experience, rather, the light code, is tonight when we go to sleep, we're going to have an experience unbeknownst to us because we don't know what we're going to dream about. We don't know what we're going to experience. You ever fell in a dream and you woke up like you was Inception and you kicked out of it because you was falling? You ever had a wet dream? You ever had a dream where you was in, you was in something intense? And you know what I mean? Like, I'm quite sure you can easily see how you can die in your sleep based off the experience that you're having. Some people wake up with scars on them. That's a real phenomenon. Some people wake up with some bruises on them from the dream world. Because the energy body, the real essence of us, one is non-local, is everywhere, and it's going. You know how a dream be. 1 minute you in the mall, and at the blink of an eye, all of a sudden you over somebody's house. You're transcending experiences. That's information. That's you. And we bring that back to the body. That's the higher self. That's the self that we got to get in tune with. And that's why I got to take my hat off to the Tibetan monks and the Kriya Yoga boys, Kriya Yoga, the Paramahamsa Yogananda, and Paramahamsa Harinanda, these two, and Sri Yukeshwar, Babaji. That particular lineage initiated me spiritually and physically. I don't know how y'all life has been here, but my life has been very interesting with twins, a duality, meaning when I was young in 1986, so I'm about 9 years old, I moved to Chicago. I stayed for about 2 years. And I remember when I lived in Chicago at 10, 11 years old, probably about 10, I remember being outside talking about zodiac signs, and dude across the street, name was Dewan, and he's like, I'm a Gemini. I don't like Geminis. I don't know nothing about zodiac signs. But I can remember this like yesterday. And I remember my mom was pregnant. And my sister is born one day after me, exactly 10 years later. So literally her birthday is the next day after me. And I remember wanting, as a brother, you want a brother. You know what I mean? As an egotistical child, as a man, you want a brother. I remember wanting a brother. And then it would be years later that I would travel back to Chicago. And then I would meet Jew, who's the Gemini. And I can just go on and on about my life experiences, being in a location in certain places, and then later coming back to that location. And I look back like, God damn it. So was I really here the first time as preparation? And I started to figure this pattern out, right? And so the real us is us cultivating that part that is leading us and leaving us at night, but really is leading us. So I went to Asheville one year. Just me and one other partner. We went to Asheville, and we went to this. Back then, it's no longer there. It was called the Dove's Nest. Big old tall white dude, Raja, and his wife Elmora, Asian lady, and she's since transcended. And we stayed there, and I gave him a gift. I gave him my crystal singing bowl. In return, you give me this book that he had on his shelf. I really didn't want the book, but I just traded it off. I was giving it to him as a gift, but I was like, hey, but I'll take this book, and it was information about the Pleiades. And we're doing this meditation in the house, and we go outside, and they had like these copper things at the pyramid. And I swear to God, a whirlwind came through that thing and damn near lifted us off the ground where we was moving. Like it was like on clockwork. Like it was crazy. I mean, the wind. And this is actually talked about in the stages of enlightenment, that you could be in there's this wind that can be blowing and you feel like it's a tornado. You know what I'm saying? And so this is in Asheville. And Asheville is known as the Sedona of the East. So, the Sedona, Arizona is its own spiritual vortex. And then on the East Coast, east of the Mississippi, it's Asheville, hands down. And so years later, we would travel to Asheville and start doing some great work. And some of the pictures that you've seen of us, it's in our book, Spiritual Wisdom for the 21st Century. You can get it on Amazon. You would see this picture when we was up on the mountains, and it's this big old light that is over the mountains. Way bigger than the mountains. And we just started having these beautiful mystical experiences, more than I can count, in North Carolina. And I also remember that trip, rewinded, the first trip when we go there, on our way there for the first time, because he took me I was there on a scouting mission doing my recon, like, take me to some vortexes around here, because he gave tours and I wanted him to give me the personal tours, because I'm gonna come back and give it to black folks. Like, hey, this is what these white folks doing on spirituality in Asheville. They go here, here, and here. We going here. Let's go. And so this is Chimney Rock. Beautiful place. The other one, I hold that one because I'm thinking about doing it this year and pulling it off. Haven't been there in a long time. But anyway, on our way to Chimney Rock, excuse me, there was a light ship that was up in the sky, a UFO, what you would call it. A light ship was there the entire time on our way there. And we all was just looking at it. You can see it clear as day. Clear as day. Clear as day. Who are we? I tell you who we are. You can go to YouTube right now and type in Prophet Yahweh calls UFO. And I think he's in Phoenix, Arizona. And their local news, say if it was Channel 6, was there. We're here live at the park with Prophet Yahweh. Prophet Yahweh says he's been reading the Bible, and the Bible showed him he can call UFOs. So we had decided to take him up on this offer. And we're here at the park, and dude goes in his prayer, oh, Yah, please don't make me out to be a liar. Please show the people your glory. I'm telling you, we really need to do this we really need to do this in mass. You imagine a Million Man March and you do some shit like that? Ooh, it's going to look like Men in Black. And then he's like, look, there it is. And then he said, I was amazed. I see it. I got on the phone and I called my boss. See, Proneef's seen it in the chat. It's on YouTube. Prophet Yahweh calls UFO. I get on the phone and call my boss. Hey, boss, yeah, I see something. And then he's like, it's headed towards Andrews Air Force Base. They want to be seen. And sure enough, we call Andrews Air Force Base, but we got no answer. And this dude has been doing this for years. Now, I can tell you they will appear in different forms. I was blessed. And that's when I was thinking about this today, because I don't have the vibe to want to do it right now, but there was a period of time, and I'm gonna share this with the Family Wealth Club tomorrow. Early this morning, like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, I created a timeline of my life, right? Starting at 21. Like literally, I wrote the year down, so 98. And then on top of that, I put my age. So 21 is 1998. I had my first son. So I put son under that. And then I started writing every year and age out in when I had children. And there was a period of time that I was in the streets, and I color coded because I used PowerPoint, and I made the 3 boxes that connect to each other with arrows pointing this way. So I color code the era. So my street era or my ignorance was black. And then when I had a turning point at 27, 28, really 28, when I become a truck driver, and the 5%er we was at truck driver school, and I had just joined the Nation of Islam before I went to truck driving school, and he was saying something about the lessons, and me and him just started kicking it. And that was my turning point at 28. So from like 28 to 33, really 32, 28 to 32 became a period of the foundational years of me learning information. This was me kicking it with Ali Muhammad. You know what I mean? Eating right. This became my vegan years. Right? But I had already got prepped. Before you go to the transition, you're going the end phase of which the end phase that's ending, you're already shedding and information is coming to you for the next thing to happen, right? Because it was Nation of Islam and then truck driving, and then it started to turn into another phase for me. So the seed was already planted about the mother wheel and baby planes is what I'm getting at here. Because I can remember in the nation wanting to make contact and sitting outside and staring at stars at nighttime, just trying to will into my existence a UFO in the mothership. And one night, I was not asleep. I know I was not asleep. Two beings, but my eyes was. You ever been in that when they call it what they call that riding? What they call that? Riding you when you ain't sleep, but you can't open your eyes and shit, and you between stages. I was like right there. I wasn't asleep, but I was in bed and I couldn't open my eyes. And it was two of them came up the steps, came on my side of the bed, and they stood on my left side. And they just stood there for a minute, and then the energy dissipated and left. And at that time, I was very, very focused on making galactic contact. But through my 28 to 32, the foundational years of information, this is when I got knowledge of astrology, and I had a DNA implosion. It's like I picked up the book and I understood it. It was weird, but I taught myself how to read Hebrew. It's, you know, it's just weird like that. The information is there. And so I started pulling into my existence these starships. And I got an old DVD when I used to just record this stuff. I had a camcorder on purpose, like boom, in Philly, pulling like they come. So when we had these events on Sunday, these things used to appear over the building and start expanding, blinking over the building. And I'd be like, all right, everybody send energy to it. Like it was like crazy. But my point is I started thinking the foundational years from 28 to 32 for me had became I was vegan too. That's when you go look at the Ampu on Kabbalah, and I got the suit on and the fez on. I'm like 32 years old, and I was like looking like I'm 19. You know what I mean? That era right there was the foundational years of information that was prepping me for another phase, which was the phase of implementation. Which means because February 2010, I start standing on my own and I don't have to necessarily work with brothers helping them build their brands and stuff. And everything became all on me. Now I had to implement the information that I had got earlier in the foundational years. So I'm saying that to say, you know, I mean, like a few things really, you know, that who we are in light, we can actually start to pull that into our existence. And if you ever see they appear as white shits. Mother Tanetta, you know, peace be upon her. She's transitioned too. She actually transitioned on my birthday, which is and she's a master. She want to talk about the master. She's a master. Who was that? Dr. No, who was that? The Nation of Islam and her, Mother Tanetta Muhammad, used to, Carlos Diaz, I think, used to study and have actual pictures of what you would call a UFO. And boy, the pictures he got down there in South America, them things are look like, I mean, they literally look like wheels of fire. You know what I'm saying? And this is interesting because light, this information, these chariots, swing down, sweet chariot, let me ride. Like the mothership, baby, like the P-Funk, the Funkadelic, like all of that is talking about light code futuristic information. The mothership is coming on down. Like this is some real stuff. You know what I'm saying? It'll sound like a movie or some ET stuff. But just take what George Clinton and them was getting on Funkadelic and the mothership, and then go watch the YouTube Prophet Yahweh calls out these things. They take on different forms, and my point is, one of the forms is light. These are light ships. Light. And they're going to appear to you based upon your level of consciousness. If you fiery, they're gonna maybe pull as fire. They're gonna look fiery. All right. All right. So yours truly, only I had the exact dream. I was napping, listening to you just now, and that woke me up again. I was a kid when I had that dream. I identified them as twins, though. Yeah. I'm telling you, man, it's for real. Yeah. I became a vegetarian in my 20s. Yeah. Yeah. So I was vegetarian. I was on raw food. Excuse me, all the way live. Here in Philly, was doing all the way live. I remember Queen Afua came and she had released her green drink, and I had hit that green drink, man, and I didn't eat for 3 days. Didn't have to eat, and the only reason I broke my fast is because I swear to you, I felt like I started to levitate, and I remember standing and drifting, and it felt like I was like, whoa. I was like, hold on, I better eat. Typical dumb, I better eat something, right? Ascension. Like I didn't even have the urge to eat. Really didn't, after I had already eaten clean, and Queen Afua had a shot of the green drink when she first came out with it. My vibe right now is not necessarily there to pull them out. Like it's just not, because I'm focused on other stuff right now, and I'm like, to do that, like it's not hard to do, but for what? You know what I'm saying? For what? Like I'm not. The world needs to get to a point, and time will tell, if you understand that. You know what I'm saying? And then I broke being a vegan with some barbecue chicken. Oh man, why do that? Why did I do that? I ain't been back since, man. I haven't, man. I haven't. But salute to people that's in our family wealth club, man. Monday through Friday at 7:45 Eastern AM. I send out a link, and we do 8-minute cardio starting at 7:50. So I send the link out, and then we do cardio, and it's going on the second month now, and it's just 8 minutes. So Monday, Tuesday, 8-minute cardio set. Wednesday, we do stretch and balance ourselves out with some yoga poses for 10 minutes. And Thursday and Friday is a different cardio set to burn sweat. And now this week, rather, I added jump rope into my regimen because I just wasn't burning enough. That felt like, so I added jump rope. So I used to fluctuate between 250. I used to fluctuate between 253. I would say 254 and 258. I never hit 260, but there was a time I did hit 258, like somewhere in January, and that's what made me say, "Yo, what the are you doing, man? You tripping? You bugging?" And so I had to put myself on the spot and bring some partners. Say, "Hey, who want to work out with me? Just a quick cardio every morning." Because since I'm the one that's responsible to get the link out, what happens if I don't get the link out? They're gonna be looking at me like, "Yo," and then I can't quit. Because if I quit, like, what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna make up a story like, "Hey, man, I can't do it. My internet broke, but now I'm doing webinars." Like, I can't quit. I put myself in a position where I can't quit. Burn the bridge of retreat. That's my nature, right? And so now that I added jump rope, I had a goal was to stop fluctuating in the 250s, because I'm talking about taking slow but progressive steps every day, right? It's about being consistent over a long period of time by doing one small thing towards your goal every day, and nothing big to put me in shock, because my fat cells fight back. Boy, they fight back viciously. So I have to do a slow compounding effect. Now versus me fluctuating in the 250s. Yesterday I hit the scale and I'm 243, and that was my goal, was to get down from when I was fluctuating between 254, 258. I wanted to get down to hit the 254, get down to 251, then 250 even, and then just 249. I'm bullshit you not. I'm just playing this pound by pound. 249. Once I hit 249, let me hit 247. 247 takes me to 245. 245 is going to take me to 243. I just hit 243 yesterday, or was it this morning? This morning when I hit the scale, 243. Now the goal is 240. When I hit 240, I just simply want to get to 239. Now when I'm in the 230s, I know for a fact I ain't bugging. I was in the 250s not too long ago. I'm 20 pounds different. You see what I'm saying? And I'm just inching myself there. So I'm on this jump rope for 8 minutes straight, just doing the jump rope. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I went back to chicken, man. The damn barbecue in Philly, North Philly, Dwight's barbecue chicken on Germantown, which, by the way, I think they got shut down because they weren't the cleanest and whatnot. But yeah, the barbecue bird got me, man. Got me. And I ain't been back. I have not been back. As of recently, I've been eating vegetarian tacos. And it's been helping me with my process, all plant-based. Amazing vegetarian cuisine that I finally found. It's in my neighborhood. Literally, it's actually next door to me. And you know, I'm getting better slowly but surely. And I thank those that rock with me on that morning call, man. Because my life depended on it. I really struggle. And it's losing this grip on me. You know what I mean? I struggle with, I'm a cancer rising, so cancer is food. So I'm a foodie, you know. And I just didn't have the energy to want to burn it off. All right. So anyway, let me see where we at. All right, man. So I always been an intuitive kid. When I went vegetarian back to my 20s. Yeah, man. You know, and I believe it's all in belief too. You know what I mean? If we believe cleaner, it's gonna make it better. You know, I just got my juicer and everything. It's going to make it better, man. It's definitely going to make it better. I keep getting these texts, man. Okay, let me see. About to wrap it up. All right. So, yeah, man, I just wanted to say again, yeah, Govinda's on South Street, even though they had a soy base, but, you know, it beat the beef. You know what I mean? It was popping, man. Heck yeah. Right there on Broad and South was very good, you know? But yeah, the core of who we are is information. Information materializes in light. Light materializes into flesh. Flesh is made of various different atomic structures and whatnot. And so we are all of those things. But at the core, we got to get down to raw data. Raw data, streams of consciousness. I've been blessed to be in the company of the Shekinah. One by accident, total accident. Drunk off a bottle of Tanqueray. I'm like 18. Snoop Dogg's record, Doggy Style, came out. And I'm like, blowed, man. I'm gone. Alcohol poison. Drank the whole bottle, the green bottle of Tang. Out. And they like, hours later, my people like, yo, man, we thought you was dead. Like, yeah, man, I ain't called a paramedic. But in that state, all I can remember is an infinite, blissful, white light. And if you start Googling, and this is interesting, dealing with, hey, Gwendolyn, if you start dealing with information that talk about where we come from or near-death experiences, the near-death experience, these people are having these phenomenal situations where it's like, oh my God, It was so peaceful over there. I can't wait to die and go back. And I've been there on a few occasions. The first occasion, Tangeray didn't know I was doing drinking. But Tangeray off of Snoop Dogg, the dog in the black culture is the Sirius energy. See, this is how it works, right? Let's go there for a second. The premise before I get into this is Jay-Z with Junior Bong, which is Damian Marley. If it's anybody I want to have a conversation with, I think Damian Marley is definitely he in my top 3, man, for sure. Like I gotta fucking talk with Junior Bong. You know what I'm saying? Bob Marley's son, I gotta rap with him. Specifically him, because Bob got a lot of kids, but something about his vibe I love. Jay-Z said something on the BAM album where he said the poets were the prophets. Now, this is interesting because in the Holy Quran, there's a chapter that deal with the poets. And you already know it's about prophecies as well. So that's my premises of what I'm about to say. Let's say musicians are getting a download. And they are in the Western Mystery School of Freemasonry. If you go to Google and you Google image Masonic stairs, you're going to see a set of 3 stairs. Then it's going to turn to the left and it's going to be, well, it depends what stairs you're looking at, but it's going to be 5 stairs to deal with your 5 senses. And then it's going to be 7 stairs. And the 7 stairs deal with the 7 liberal arts and sciences. Remember those 7 heavens? So these 7 liberal arts and sciences. And the highest science is astronomy. And the 6th step, the second highest science, the 6th step is music. And so what I'm telling you is the astronomical spheres of planetary bodies and cosmic bodies send telepathic messages to musicians. And therefore, it's an inspiration that they're speaking. Everybody know that this is true, okay? And so they speak this divine truth, right? The dog, we know without a shadow of a doubt, it's been proven that the dog in Egypt is Anpu. That is Sirius, the constellation, or what is known as Canis Major. Canis Major is a constellation that looked like a dog. In that constellation, made up several stars that look like a dog. There's a bright star, and that bright star is called Sirius. The Egyptian calendar was heavily predicated upon Sirius. The Dogon is heavily predicated upon Sirius. So this is an African historical cosmology. That's a fact. Now, the musicians of our time will later come and we get people like George Clinton. So we get that atomic dog, bow, wow, wow, yippee. Then we get Too Short and all them. Then we get Snoop Dogg. So the dog is a transmission from the mother star. Bitch. The reason why you say bitch so much, it's I don't like it. And I'm really, because I'm the older I get, the more sensitive I become too. I noticed that because I know people mean it in a derogatory way, in a sense. But the female dog is known as a bitch. When you're dealing with the Canis Major constellation, this dog, this imprint of light, the brightest star in all the heavens. Think about that. Out of all the stars in creation, there's one that is the brightest, Sirius, and it's sending this impulse, this electrical signal to the earth. We pick up on it, and then you get people like George Clinton and be talking about atomic dog. Then you get Snoop Dogg, the dog, right? So it's really just that. These musicians are picking up this information, these imprints from this. So now that this information is coming, boom, 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 they don't know how to necessarily connect the astronomical dots to it. You know what I'm saying? And what it really is propelling us to deal with. You know what I'm saying? It's all about ET phone home. What I mean by ET phone home is I know this through experience. We've tested this through group meditation. When the alignment is aligned, when the stars are aligned, we collectively get together and we send one signal. And then you'll see if you can get some feedback. Meaning the things that you're thinking about, will you see it get reported in the news somehow? And the answer will be yes. And then you got to constantly test that to make sure that you ain't freaking bugging. Mm-hmm. And once you can get consistent feedback, I may do a webinar and show y'all some of this stuff, man. You know that you're not bugging. Seriously, you're not bugging. It's there. You know what I'm saying? The feedback is there. There's 7 Hermetic laws and principles dealing with the Kabbalion. Right? Y'all know about that. The law of mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, gender, rhythm, cause and effect. Don't quote me on the order. What is your favorite law? Let me know in the chat real fast before I get out of here. Let me see. Who is this? Hey, Random. He ran me to Micro Center. Mentalism. Come on, give it to me in the chat. So if you're familiar with them, the 7 laws, right? You got mentalism, you got correspondence, you got vibration, you got polarity, you got gender, you got cause and effect, you got rhythm, right? Which one do you personally like? So I see mentalism, vibration, gender. All right, give me some more. There's a few of y'all in here. Which one do you vibe? And people be talking about, man, what Kendrick say? Bitch, don't kill my vibe. Rhythm's dope. Rhythm is dope. Rhythm is, man, because rhythm deals with patterns. And once you can figure the pattern out, you should be on your way. I love rhythm. But I'm gonna tell you, my personal favorite one is, let's see, vibration. Right? Bob is dope. My personal favorite is correspondence, the second one. Because I believe everything after correspondence is a way to prove what mentalism is doing. So if you look at rhythm, tick, tock, what's next? Tick. If you look at gender, male, female, or we look at polarity, up, down, cold, white, cold, hot, right? Black, white. You start to see patterns in polarity. It's this opposites attract in a sense. Male, female, and gender. It's really it's just another way, to me in my mind, it's another way of that's dealing with that polarity. Genders, that's that. When you look at vibration is dope, but vibration means movement. So after vibration is the different ways of how you can pinpoint the movement, right? Is it going up, down, rhythm? Is it male, female, gender? Is it, tick tock, or, dealing with polarity? You get to measure it. So everything after correspondence is different ways of how to measure the law of mentalism. Correspondence is your ability to prove. This is amazing. It's our ability to prove that this plus this equals this. I said it on this day. It equals this. Sit back. It happened on this day, the same day, and that same event that I said was going to happen happened. That's correspondence. That's me. That's me personally. I love correspondence. So you said that the vibration determines its level of correspondence. The vibration determines the level of correspondence. I think that the vibration, I can get with that. It tells what kind of correspondence. So for lack of a better word, let's say good or evil, good or bad. The vibration tells that, oh, this is a low vibration. So now our correspondence is a low vibration. So yeah, within correspondence, you need the other ones. You need vibration. Well, hold on. Vibration in itself. Wait a minute. We gotta go a step further. Oh, now you need polarity. You need rhythm. You need cause and effect. You need gender. Oh, now you need, because when you start getting at it, it starts to break itself up into poles. You see what I'm saying? It starts to break itself up into poles. Oh, for sure. I'm with it. I'm with it. Vibration determines, we say the vibration determines the level of correspondence. Yes, because correspondence can only say, hey, the vibe was a high tide, the vibe was a low tide, the vibe was cause, the vibe was effect, the vibe was male, the vibe was female. You see what I'm saying? So bingo, absolutely. So they're all interchangeable. But if vibration determines correspondence, then the point is, everything after the point of mentalism is different levels of correspondence, because it's telling you how it's manifesting. So I just like to focus on correspondence because it's telling you figure out, because everything after correspondence, because technically it's mentalism, then correspondence, then those things come after correspondence. You see what I'm saying? But the all in itself, mentalism, is absolutely made up of polarity, yin yang. So we can also say, well, shit, without polarity, without yin yang, it ain't no all. That would be true, right? Well, they actually say it wouldn't be true because it's consciousness, right? But we can see where that could be true, right? So it's all correspondence, and then it's all the all. You know what I mean? And then it's all vibration, because anything that's moving, anything that's conscious is vibration. And anything that's vibrating does have rhythm. So all of the one thing, which takes us back to the snake biting his tail and the infamous symbol, right? Or in the tarot, it's the number 8, the infinity symbol over the magician, right? So information manifests. That's all. And you get to get on your tracing board and get to prove the different levels of how this thing reacts, man. All right. So shout out to the dogs, man. Shout out to the dog energy. You know what I mean? It was very instrumental in bringing. We need to call home. We need to align back with Sirius. We need to and I'll give the call. It'll come. You know, it'll come. Because I know one thing's for sure. I'm giving you the game way ahead of time. That 2024 eclipse that's coming, I told you we need to be in Makanda, Illinois, which is Wakanda. You know what I'm saying? We need to be there. We need to be there for 2024, the American eclipse. You know what I mean? Doing some greatness. You know what I mean? Doing some things great. And lining our energies up with the right corresponding lights to bring more light. You ever wonder where we're going? The solar system is moving. Where the hell are we going? If they say the universe is expanding, where are we going? Because we moving. The stars are going through procession. Everything is moving. Are we going? You know, we don't live in a perfect circle. The Earth going around the sun is not perfect. Hence the perihelion and perihelion. Perihelion, January 3rd, 4th on average, right? When we're closest to the Earth. And then when we're furthest away from the Earth. So if the sun on average is 93 million miles away from us, the sun at all times don't stay 93 million miles away from us. So our circle around the sun is an oblong circle. So therefore, there's a furthest point away around July the 4th, and there is a closest point January 1st. Happens to be our New Year and our Independence Day. Hello, this is talking about you ain't gonna, man, listen, man. I'm trying to tell you something. You want to know how intelligent light is? When you frame a government based upon pure intention and cosmic alignment that is going to benefit humanity, freedom for all. Talking about July 4th, Declaration of Independence. And you win because they just didn't file a document and say, yeah, this is what it is. No, they was already at war. The Battle of Concord had already jumped off prior. You know, prior it's a war. They just say we writing this document while bullets is flying. But you gotta win to prove that. Thomas Jefferson, John Adams signed this Declaration of Independence. Do you know both of them died on July 4th, 1826? And then James Monroe Cole. Monroe is like Monroe, my second favorite president of all time, James Monroe. And I'm gonna tell you something, because when you're dealing with light is crazy. Light is, this is why I like Mike Tyson's show, because I see a black guy and a white guy, which is, to me, it's salt and pepper. Salt and pepper's here. Like, that was, again, that's the spirit trying to tell you, you like salt and pepper because it was, God, I used to have the biggest crush on salt. God damn, salt was so fond of me. But and yeah, that brings up something in me. But you have this beautiful feminine force that was talking about this black and white polarity, salt and pepper. You know what I'm saying? And the union is the congealing point, that balance point of black and white coexisting, yin yang, right? And so I'm telling you, like, these dudes wrote this document, signed this document. Two of them die on the same day, and they was opponents but friends of each other. John Adams, the second president, and the third president, Thomas Jefferson, and they died like 500 miles apart. Thomas Jefferson dying a few hours before John Adams. And on John Adams' deathbed, he's like, Thomas Jefferson outlives me, not knowing that Thomas Jefferson died. How is it that they both wrote a document on July 4th, and then this thing called God says, y'all niggas is dying on July 4th? And then James Monroe, who also signs the document, dies on July 4th. Not the same day, not the same year, 1826, but years later. How is that, man? That is something that is very, very, very intelligent. Very intelligent. And it understands spatial memory very good. Very, very, very well. I say ET phone home. The whole solar system for the Earth is predicated upon Sirius. So since we are in this lopsided circle like an egg, right? And you understand the rotation of the Earth around the sun doing the perihelion, January 3rd, 4th, 5th on average. And I got to say it, salute and rest in peace to our elder, Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, who wrote the ISIS papers. I should have cut the light on, right? Hold on real fast. Got me in the Dark. All right. So Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, who wrote the ISIS papers, ISIS we know is Sirius, and then she breaks up out of here like January the 2nd that year, and she made transition when the Earth is in perfect alignment with Sirius. My point is, if you understand the rotation of our earthly home inside of the solar system that we're in, this oblong circle, the sun is not in the middle. It's not always at 93 million miles away from us on average. So we're actually being pulled into the gravitational pull of Sirius, man. Hence, Sirius XM radio. I'd be amazed at the culture. Like, God is a freaking amazing. Sirius XM becomes the biggest satellite thing ever. Why Sirius? And their logo is the dog with the star in the eye, right? So somebody clearly knows astronomy who picked the name and logo. That's astronomical, ancient African shit right there. That permeates through the culture. Snoop Dogg, Short Dog, George Clinton, Funky Dog, Atomic Dog, right? It comes back, right? So we're being pulled in its direction. We're being pulled into the light of Sirius. That's why Dr. Frances Cress Welsing broke up out of here when the alignment was perfect. So where's she from then? How's it going to be a woman's claim to fame? The ISIS papers. And then when you look into ISIS and the ancient Egyptian aspect of it, in the theology and cosmology, ISIS is a newer form of Sebdek, and Sebdek is the goddess Sirius. And then the temple of Isis in Philae is actually erected to watch the alignment of Sirius. Here that the earth is in between the sun and Sirius, only once. And she breaks up out of here at that time. Where the hell did she go? She went back there to tell you that, man. Hence, the dog Ampu is going to tell you about the transformation of the souls. Like this is for real. I'm not like, listen, man. Ampu, my name, my spiritual name, that the energy that took me on, the dog man, and I know because I'm a dog whisperer. Dogs, I love dogs, and they love me. Like, but also came, okay, Ampu, okay. Death of your twin daughter, and the other one gonna live. Now tell that story. Make it make sense. Oh shit, when I'm holding the dead twin, there's a big ass bright light in the picture. So I ain't got nothing to trip for. This is about light. This is about being an example. God likes to make an example. Each light being is here to give an example and a contribution to the whole. So I ain't tripping. It's light. Let's go. It's talking about light. You see what I'm saying? And so we got to phone home. And home. When I say home, I'm talking about, I'm not saying everybody's from Sirius. I'm not saying that. Although the Dogon is very interesting to say that the earth was populated by Sirian beings. Very interesting. I know we're headed to Sirius. So when I say phone home, I'm talking about lining ourselves up with the brightest star. And the idea will always manifest itself in the form of something physical to show you a clear sign. And the clear signs is just like Proneeth just said, the heavy synchronicity, the Dr. Frances Cress Welsing and Sirius and Sirius XM radio. And Sirius XM radio gives you Sway. How Sway? Sway's Universe. Ain't that some shit? Sway's Universe. Shade 45 is on Sway's podcast, his show, radio, rather, called Sway's Universe. Come on. The universe, Sirius. He broadcasts under Sirius. Come on. Angela Yee with the Breakfast Club, her birthday is like January the 3rd. January the 3rd, like it says, that's the perihelion when the Earth and Sirius and the Earth and Sirius and Sun are in direct alignment, and the Earth is closest to the Sun. The angel, Angela, the angel Yi, she's got the Asian mix. The Asian mix is showing you how to balance the yin and yang. You see what I'm saying? This ain't nothing spooky. Add their birthdays up. Fuck, I ain't doing all that. I'm just telling you, just look at the energy in raw form. You see what I'm saying? And you'll be able to see it. All right. So, all right, man, I'm going to clean this office, man. This office has not been cleaned today. So I'm going to clean this office. I'm going to get up out of here. You are the light Subscribe, man, share with a friend. Love for you to join you, man. Family Wealth Club, the Prosperity Investment Group. We having a webinar tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern. Like I said, man, I want us to grow physically on this earth and spiritually. You know what I'm saying? Let's balance the two beautiful polarities. All right. So with that, I will see you guys later. See you on the next one. All right. Peace.